Hello and welcome to the very first virtual roadshow from Phase 1 Industrial. And it's nice to try something new and innovative, which is what we do at Phase 1 quite a lot. Those that don't know me, I'm Steve Cooper and I'm the VP of Phase 1 Industrial here in the Americas. And my background is purely geomatics, especially with my degree in mapping information from Newcastle University a very long time ago. So Phase 1, our history is just over 25 years ago, based in Copenhagen, where we created the medium format digital technology for imaging solutions. Our head office is still based there, but we are now spread around the world. So we've evolved into our Phase 1 industrial lineup that you can see behind me, and we are fully designed and manufactured for industrial applications. Whether that is in a very high altitude plane, where we have to cope with very fast changes in pressure and temperature, all the way down to ground applications where it's very rugged, very dusty, and very harsh environments. So the medium format camera that we produce now is, as I said, industrial. We have to cope with all sorts of new technology. So for example, we are now using the 150 meg CMOS sensor with a very high dynamic range. We also have our own technology, which is like our Reliant shutter, which is a very high mechanical shutter of 1/2500, but still keeping a very high shutter rate. Also, our lenses are designed and manufactured for the industrial application in our factory in Japan. Now moving on to the product demonstrations. So to do the product demonstrations, we're going to be using a couple of our sales managers here in the US. Our office is based in the Rocky Mountain Airport in Colorado, and there are 10 of us based here from the US region. Starting with Nick Anelio, who is our UAV sales manager. He'll be talking about our 50 to 100 megapixel inspection camera. We will then be moving on to Greg King, who is our ground sales manager. He will be talking about our 100 to 150 megapixel cameras specifically designed for machine vision and ground applications. And last but not least, we are moving on to Olivia Link, who will be talking about our 100 to our newly released 280 megapixel aerial systems. So I hope you enjoy the product demonstrations, and if you have any questions at all, please contact any of the sales guys at the office.
Good day, everybody. My name is Nick. I am an area sales manager here at Phase 1 Industrial here in Broomfield, Colorado at the Rocky Mountain Airport, where our sales and support are staffed for our U.S. market. I manage our UAS UAV sector of our IXM line of cameras. This camera was brought into the unmanned aerial vehicle market in 2018. We have two different types of the IXM series line of cameras. We have the IXM 50 megapixel and the IXM 100 megapixel. These cameras are used for UAV imaging purposes, from aerial mapping to inspection, getting into government, and now different types of sectors for us. We have 5 different types of RSM lenses, the fixed focus at 35 millimeter and 80 millimeter. And then we have our remote focus features with the 80 millimeter, 150 and 300 millimeter lenses. You don't see too much of the 300 millimeter out in the field today. We see a lot of the 35, the 80, and the 150. And the reason for that is our weight features. A lot of people may ask, how heavy is the camera? Because we know that's an important piece for unmanned aircraft today. Within our aerial mapping unit, you are getting close to 2 pounds. And then if we get into our inspection, the longer the focal length, the more weight it's going to add, giving you around the 2.25 to 2.5 pound limit for our weight of our IXM cameras. As far as the storage, what do we store your imagery on within our cameras? We use the XQD cards. We recommend the 128 and 256 memory for that. As far as raw files, we use here at Phase 1, we use the IQ feature. Those are input features that we use. As far as an average file size, you're looking at 100 megabytes for your 100 megapixel camera, and then your 50 megapixel, you're getting down into the 50 megabyte memory space for that. As far as connection to the aircraft, That's a great question, and that's a frequently asked question here. We want to answer that. We use USB-C and 10G Ethernet for connection to the UAV itself. You can use your current or existing GNSS IMU units aboard your aircraft. Going forward, we have a backside illumination feature that we think brings a lot of light sensitivity to those shadowed areas on the processing side of the image that you capture within a Phase 1 camera. Going forward, we are IP53 compliant, so you can carry on missions in light mist, light rain, those types of features. We have one of our other features within Phase 1, we are a software company. We have IX Capture Mobile via iOS on your iPads. That's what operators use today. Pilots are familiar with the IX Capture Mobile app. From there, you're able to enable your camera features, you get full control and remote management of the camera. You are able to access your video stream via HDMI, and you can manually control your capture settings. We do have auto capture mode, which we think and recommend is a good feature for those out there in the vertical asset mission space. We have dual remote controls. So within an M600, for example, you have the master controller, operates the aircraft, flying the aircraft, your remote PIC, and then you have your sensor operator, your SO, controlling the sensor itself from that. Now, excluding that, if you're wanting to send just one person in the field, they think this can be done quicker, more efficient. You are capable of doing so with a one-man team. An image that I want to bring to your attention that we think speaks a lot of volume in this image. The Phase 1 IXM100 is on the right, the Sony A7R II is in the middle, Zenmuse X5 is on the left. And a colleague of mine did some comparison photos here, and this is why your investment in high resolution clarity imagery from a zoom factor that inspectors, engineers want to see from a camera. You'll notice the top image is at 30 feet each one, and the bottom image, my colleague then backed off to 130 feet. And so what you're getting here is not only the zoom capability, but the greater detail from this distance, and we really see that come into play at 130 feet. And as we all know, safety is an important factor for distance within inspections of any vertical asset. I wish everybody a fun, safe, and most importantly, healthy summer ahead. And I look forward to connecting to you, hopefully in person. If not, we definitely respect that and look forward to a video conference. Take care.
Hello, my name is Greg King, and I'm in charge of the ground division of Phase 1 Industrial here in America. We offer different products to different markets. One of our markets is cultural heritage. Another market is mobile mapping and inspection. And we also offer products to the machine vision and quality control markets. In the cultural heritage market, we make 3 products, the IXH, the IXG, and a multispectral camera. All 3 cameras will fit on a live automated column to be used on a camera stand or wall mounted to be able to copy flat artwork. And with that column, all the person has to do is enter into the computer the resolution, and the column will actually go to the proper space, going up and down, and then the lens will automatically focus. And then if you use our cultural heritage software, then they'll also auto crop. In the multispectral, it'll cover a wider range of visible and non-visible light. And then in the mobile mapping and in the ground inspection, we have basically the same camera that we use for our aerial photography, but we adapted a little bit and it's used in a different way. It's actually used on vehicles to do ground mapping or to do inspection of like high power lines, telephone poles, anything that might have a serial number, power boxes. And then you can also use that camera on a cart inside a location like a large conference hall, coliseum, someplace that you can do 3D mapping, and that can be given to first responders for when they have a problem and need to show up. They have something more than a blueprint. And then we also do have specialized cameras that are basically adapted from our IXH, which is a machine vision camera. And these cameras are used in factories to record any blemishes in products, like circuit boards, LED screens, where they need to shoot pictures and it needs to be a high enough resolution. And then that information is fed into an AI computer to look for defects. And then you can also use these high resolution cameras to be able to shoot larger objects that might need to be mosaicked for inspection, like an aircraft, where you could use them in a trolley above the aircraft, shoot a lot of pictures, combine them, and then look for defects like cracks. All of these cameras come in 100 megapixel and 150 megapixel, and they also come in RGB, wide spectrum, NIR, and then also achromatic. So I'd love to talk to you more about any of my cameras. I'm available by phone or email, and I appreciate your time. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Olivia Link and I'm a System Sales Manager for Phase 1 Industrial. And today I'd like to speak to you about the Phase 1 Industrial aerial camera systems. Behind me is the 150 megapixel aerial camera system, complete with SOMAG gyro-stabilized mount, the DSM-400, and a Planix IMU. Included with the aerial systems is the Phase 1 IX Suite FMS, which includes IX Plan for flight planning, IX Flight for pilot and operator navigation, and IX Capture for in-air image QA/QC and on-the-ground post-processing. These camera systems are available from 100 megapixel, 150 to 280 megapixel, 4-band or RGB, and can all be installed in an aircraft in less than an hour. Also, dependent upon your application, there is a customizable selection of lenses from 50 to 300 millimeters. So feel free to contact me today for a request for more information or for a sample data set.